world held its breath after the death of Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, who was killed in Tehran on 31st of July. The question on everyone's mind: who would take over? The answer came swiftly. Yahya Sinwar, a known hardliner and mastermind of the October 7th attacks against Israel, emerged as the new chief of Hamas. However, Sinwar's appointment was expected to drastically alter the dynamics in Gaza and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Where there was hope for a ceasefire deal before, Sinwar's new position cast a shadow over the future of the talks. Where there was hope for a ceasefire deal before, Sinwar's new position casts a shadow over the future of the talks. However, months later, Yahya Sinwar has been killed in Rafah. Born in Khan Yunis, Gaza, in 1962, Yahya Sinwar joined Hamas in his youth and quickly rose through the ranks due to his strategic mind and ruthless tactics. His leadership in Gaza has been marked by an unwavering commitment to armed resistance against Israel. In fact, Sinwar was the mastermind behind the devastating attacks on Israel on October 7, 2023. This brutal assault, which resulted in the deaths of around 1,200 people and the kidnapping of over 240 individuals, showcased Sinwar's militant approach. Alongside Hamas military leader Mohammed Deif, Sinwar crafted this attack, demonstrating his ability to orchestrate large-scale violence. Sinwar's appointment marked a significant shift for Hamas. Under Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas maintained a dual focus on governance and resistance. Sinwar, however, emphasizes armed struggle over political engagement. This shift is likely to escalate tensions with Israel and complicate future peace efforts. Yahya Sinwar was also known for his strong alignment with Iran, further entrenching Hamas in the regional power struggles of the Middle East. Unlike Ismail Haniyeh, who was seen as a pragmatic leader, Sinwar's leadership was anticipated to complicate ceasefire negotiations. His elusive nature and erratic communication with political officials was expected to make it nearly impossible for mediators to engage with him. Sinwar had resisted calls for a ceasefire, betting that continued Palestinian civilian casualties will garner international sympathy and pressure on Israel. According to the Wall Street Journal, Sinwar's message to Hamas officials mediating with Qatar and Egyptian officials was, and I quote, "We have the Israelis right where we want them." In fact, his ideology also caused a rift within Hamas. Sinwar's hardline approach clashes with the more politically inclined leaders like Haniyeh, who pushed for a ceasefire to alleviate Gaza's humanitarian crisis. Remember, the ongoing conflict has ravaged Gaza, reducing much of it to rubble. Over 39,000 Palestinians, mostly civilians, have been killed. This humanitarian crisis is deepening. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken highlighted Sinwar's role in blocking ceasefire efforts, emphasizing that his leadership codifies his decisive influence within Hamas.
We continue to work intensely to de-escalate tensions in the Middle East and to prevent the spread of conflict. Over the past few days, we've been in constant contact with partners in the region and well beyond. In those conversations, we've heard a clear consensus. No one should escalate this conflict. We've been engaged in intense diplomacy with allies and partners, communicating that message directly to Iran. We communicated that message directly to Israel. It's urgent that everyone in the region take stock of the situation, understand the risk of miscalculation, and make decisions that will calm tensions, not exacerbate them.
Yahya Sinwar's rise as the leader of Hamas heralded a more violent and uncompromising phase for the group. However, his death now raises several questions about the future of the group, the Gaza ceasefire talks, and the impact on the Middle East.
What the changes in India's population and the differential growth rates.
This city has emerged.
We have a very special guest on the record.
The interview.
The role that the US side played at that point of time.
पूरी दुनिया की नजर
Assume my phone is tapped, I can probably say hello to Mr. Modi.
आपके भारत पर है.
Episode of Know Your Candidate.
The rising confidence of India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Communist China is the greatest threat.
There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremist.
I'm still a little perplexed by why we.
Your daily dose of news from India and across the world. Cutting edge views and analysis. Tune into HT videos. Click on the bell icon to subscribe.